Good morning, children. Children, in last lecture, I started chapter metals and non-metals. I explained physical and physical properties of metals and non-metals and some chemical properties of metals. Children, in this lecture, I am going to tell you what kind of question used to come in CBSE board examination which are based on the physical properties of metals and non-metals. First question, children. If you remember, my first point was I told you there are 118 elements present in periodic table. That means all 100 total elements are present. Alright, and out of these 118 elements, most of the elements are metals, some are non-metals, and some are metalloids also. Metals are electropositive in nature. That means they used to donate its electron. For example, sodium metal. Sodium contains one electron in outermost shell. It used to donate its electron and become cation. Non-metal. Non-metal is electronegative in nature and it used to accept electron from outside. And who will give electron to non-metals? Metals, obviously. So, for example, non-metal like chlorine, it used to accept electron from metal like sodium. Metalloids. Metalloids used to behave sometimes like metals and sometimes like non-metals. So the question is, how many elements are present in periodic table and what is the characteristic of metal or what is the characteristic of non-metal? These many points you need to write down, which I just now told you. Now next, physical properties of metals. Children, first physical property is metals have lustrous surface or metals have shiny surface. I told you earlier the property of metals of having a shiny surface is called metallic luster, and this shiny appearance of metals makes them useful in making jewelry and the decoration pieces. Children, if you have observed, gold and silver are the metals which are used for making jewelry because of their bright and shiny surfaces. And this shiny surface of metal makes them good reflectors of light. And children, if you observe, metals used to corrode. That means they will react with atmospheric oxygen and the shiny surface become tarnished or dull. And if you scrub with sandpaper, the oxide which is accumulated over the surface of metal will be removed and the shiny surface is back. Children, I told you earlier, if copper vessels are there in your home, you used to wash with tambri powder, or if you scrub it with sandpaper, you will see the dull surface that is of basic copper carbonate accumulated over copper vessel is removed and inner copper metal comes out, which make it brighter. So, children, the question based on this lustrous property, what property is considered for making any metal or for use any metal in making ornaments or jewelry? And the answer is lustrous. Next property, children, next property is malleable. Malleable, you already know that the property by which metal will turn up into thin sheet after beating with hammer. Gold and silver are the metals which are the best considered malleable metals. That means they can be transformed into very thin sheet. Children, you must have observed there are so many biscuits, chocolates, or any other food items used to wrapped in aluminium foil. So, aluminium is metal, and aluminium can turn up into aluminium foil, and which is very thin because of this malleable property. The malleable property is considered while turning up any metal into a thin sheet. I hope you understand. Ductile. Ductile or ductility is the property by which any metal can be transformed into thin wires, or wires can be drawn by any metal. The most famous example is copper metal. We used to use copper metal. Nowadays, aluminium is also in fashion. We used to use aluminium, copper metal for electricity purposes. But if you see, the most ductile metal is gold. Gold can be transformed into very thin wire. So ductility is the property by which property we can draw metal into wires. Good conductor of heat. Good conductor of heat, that means if I am warming one end of metal and I am taking metal in a form of strip or a rod, the another atom will also get warm. Why? Because electricity is conducting from one end to another end. So we can say that metals are good conductor of heat. Another property, metals are also a good conductor of electricity. That means metals allows electricity or electric current to pass through them easily. Children, one question has been asked on the basis of this property, and the question was, you are given one bulb, one connecting wire, one battery, two crocodile clips, and one metal piece aluminium. With the help of activity, write down the metals are good conductor. Children, if you connect this bulb, battery with the help of crocodile wire, if you insert one metal strip of iron or aluminium in the connecting wire, if you complete the circuit, you will see the bulb will glow. And bulb will glow when the electricity is passing through the metals also. By this activity, we can prove that metals are good conductor of electricity also. Metals are generally hard. Hard matlab, if you are hammering any metal, if you are beating any metal, they will not break that easily. That means they are quite rigid. And because of this property only, the bridges are used to be made with the help of iron. But some metals like sodium, potassium, these are the metals are soft metals. Children, please consider this point. Generally, maximum metals are hard in nature, but metals like sodium and potassium are soft. Question is, give two examples of metals which are soft. And the answer is sodium and potassium. Children, in this category, you can include metal, this lithium also. Lithium is also a soft metal. And the reason is, children, these metals are soft metals, and lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. These five metals are grouped together, and these five metals are called alkali metals. These alkali metals are soft metals. Why? Because they have low densities. And they have low densities, that is why they are soft and can be cut easily with the help of knife. Very important question. Children, One more question I am adding here: gallium and cesium. These are the two metals which have generally low melting point. Let's elaborate this first. I am telling you here metals, or I would say I am talking about alkali metals, means lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. These are the alkali metals. Lithium, sodium, potassium, cesium, rubidium. I am saying you these are alkali metals, and lithium, sodium, potassium are the soft metals. Their density is less, can be cut with knife. Children, because they are soft in nature, that is why their melting point is also low. They are not that rigid. They can be melt comparatively at low temperature. Generally, we can say, children, metals have quite high densities. They are rigid. They are strong. They used to take lots of heat, lots of temperature to turning up for turning up into liquid state. Melting point of generally metals are high. They have high densities. They are rigid. So, but alkali metals, sodium, lithium, potassium, you need to remember it. They have less low densities. They have low melting point and can be cut by knife. All these points have already come in your board exam. Just now I added one point. There are two metals, gallium and cesium. They have very low melting point. That means I would say if you take this gallium, if you take this cesium and keep on your palm, they will melt. That means the melting point of these two metals is lower than that of body temperature. Our body temperature is around 37.5 degrees Celsius. So you can say the melting point of these two metals are less than 37.5 degrees Celsius. Alright. Next, I think you already know, except mercury, generally all metals are solid. Another property, sonorous. Sonorous property is, uh, children, metals are very much capable of producing a deep or ringing sound. And this is the property by which we can consider that metals are used for making bells or the strings of violin or the sitar. So question is, which property is considered to make the sitar this make the strings of violin sonorous? Another property, children, most metals give rise to basic oxides. Basic oxides, first of all, basic oxide means their nature must be basic in nature. Children, if I am taking metal like sodium and I am taking this sodium and it is reacting with oxygen, so it is turning up into sodium oxide. Simply after burning sodium and it is turning up into its oxide, that means sodium oxide is forming, and this sodium oxide is also solid. How can I find out whether it is solid, whether it is basic or acidic? What will I do? I will take this sodium oxide and I will dissolve in water. On dissolving, I will get its hydroxide. Sodium oxide will react with water to give me sodium hydroxide, and sodium hydroxide, you already know that it is strong base. Strong base, that means it will turn up red litmus blue. Or if I want to find out its pH value, it will lie in between 13 to 14. So children, metals are forming basic oxides, and we can find out the nature of any oxide, whether it is of metal or non-metal, by dissolving that oxide into water. Next is non-metals. Non-metals, physical properties. Non-metals may be solids, may be liquids or gaseous also. For example, carbon, sulfur, phosphorus. These three nonmetals are solids. Liquid, bromine is liquid. Gaseous, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen are gaseous nonmetals. Children, again, give one example of solid nonmetal, give two example of gaseous nonmetal. Such kind of question used to come. I am repeating. Solid nonmetal, carbon, sulfur, phosphorus. Liquid is bromine. Gaseous is oxygen, hydrogen and nitrogen. Children, generally non-metals are soft. They are not that hard if they are existing in a form of solid, or I would say carbon, sulfur, phosphorus. These are soft non-metals. But we already know diamond is a non-metal and it is the hardest natural substance. Okay, next. Non-metals do not have luster. They do not have shiny surface. They generally appears as a dull substance. But iodine is lustrous. It has shiny surface. Non-metals, if we are beating non-metal with any hammer, they will turn them into powder. They will not turning up into any sheet. They will not be drawn into wire. They are non-ductile. They are non-malleable. Non-metals which are solid have low melting points, and non-metals are bad conductor of heat. Non-metals are non-sonorous. They do not produce any particular sound. And children, non-metals are generally bad conductor of electricity. That means they do not conduct electricity. But we already know graphite is a non-metal which is a form of carbon and it is one of the best conductor of electricity. Why? Children, graphite structure, what is happening? Carbon is trapped by another 5 carbon and they used to remain in a form of ring, hexagonal ring. And every end of one carbon remain unbonded, or you would say one electron will remain free in every ring. And these hexagonal rings are situated one over another, and in every ring one free unbonded electrons reside in carbon atom, and due to this free electron the graphite is good conductor of electricity. Graphite is used for making so many electrodes. So children, these are the questions which used to come for the physical properties of metals and non-metals. You need to consider all of them. Thank you.